Hey awesome friends, I am Awesome Danny, and you know my associate, Sonny McSunnerson, who's only here for treats, right? Okay. He got more of his favorite treats. Thank you Patreons for keeping Sonny well fed. I'm pretty sure if I needed treats, it wouldn't be the same, but whatever. All right, buddy, can I get a paw shake? Oh, come on, make it a good one. Thank you, buddy. So today we're here to review the SoundPeats Air4 Pro. So these are more of a in-ear monitor as opposed to the other Air4s that were more of a semi in-ear, kind of like the AirPods. And these are more like AirPods Pro. And similar to every SoundPeats product that we review, Sonny didn't really care for them because there's no wires. But I actually like these. These are now SoundPeats Air4 Pros are now my daily driving wireless set. I rarely use the Opera 5 now. I will compare them to the Opera 5s in this video, and the regular Air4s have been replaced by the Pros. So we'll go over that as well. I will also like to thank SoundPeats for sending out this little figure. I'm not sure if it has a name, but we're calling him Pete. Pete the SoundPeats Panda. And my wife said that he has a butt and thought it was hilarious. So he will be joining us for any future SoundPeat reviews. Thank you, SoundPeats. Unexpected, and I love it. It's just funny, even with the weird look in his eyes. You want more? Can I have a paw? Can I have a kiss? I swear he can just stay up here and eat the entire time, but as soon as the treats go away, he's gonna go away. You want to say thank you to SoundPeats, Sonny? You want more? All right, we'll give him a few more. I've been trying to cut back on the treats for him, and he has not liked it at all. It's not like I give him, dude, chill. Not like I give him any to begin with, but when you cut down the little bit of treats he gets already, he is very vocal about it. First thing in the morning, he'll start bugging me for breakfast, or he'll start bugging me for treats. If I skip him, like for example, if I'm running late for morning errands, I'll skip him until I get back home, which is usually like an hour running around. Come back here. You don't want any more? You're done? You're good? Okay. You want more? He will let me have it when I get home. He meows and yells at me. Right, Sonny? More? Or no? Those are the last ones. You can come and pick them up. Hey, look. Why do I even clean this? You get it all dirty. Oh, he's gone. All right, let's get on with the video. All right, so getting back into Air4 Pros, unboxing, minimalistic, just what you expect, you know, just the case, the earphones themselves, and a cable to charge the case, and a set of ear tips. This came with one set of ear tips, small, medium, and large. So MSRP is $79.99 for the Air 4 Pros. But I did look on Amazon right now. I'm not sure by the time the video's up if the offer will still be there, but they have a 30% off coupon right now. I believe that's for the release, but also on the channel, we have a coupon code for us for 10% off. And last time I think it was with the Air 4s, the regular, it did combine the discounts. You could use both. We had a Amazon code and then we had a code for the channel. So if this ends up being something that interests you, please use the codes or check, or even message me on Discord or something. I can ask if you can save some money. I would rather you do that. If you don't have to pay full price, don't, save some money for pizza or more gear, right? That's the best way to go about it. So this set has 13mm dynamic drivers, one in each side, which is, good size. And that's probably what goes into the bass performance on these, because similar to the other stuff, there's good bass here. It moves air, feels visceral, and we'll get into that during the sound breakdown. Sonny's trying to tip over the garbage can. I'm watching you. Yes, I'm watching you. Yes. All right. Anyways, so SoundPeats claims 6-hour performance on the device or earphones themselves, and 26 hours charge held on the case. About an hour and a half to fully charge the case from zero. It sounds about right. I've been using these for a little bit now. I got these like 2-3 weeks ago now, and they completely took over my TWS spot. And we'll get into more of the details on that. And I mean, I have rarely had to fully charge them, and they just seem to be going. I use them pretty much every day, especially when I'm in the kitchen. So these do support Qualcomm haptics adaptive codec. They don't support LDAC like the Opera 5s. So the Opera 5s support LDAC, which is one thing that they have over these. These do not support LDAC, but for my use case, it's not like I'm using it for critical listening. So the higher resolution codec wasn't missed, but it's still, if your phone or whatever you're using to play the music supports haptics adaptive, you're going to get very good quality sound. So the Air 4 Pros do have hybrid active noise cancellation. Noise cancellation is actually solid. The other day I had them on and my wife was watching TV in the living room. It's about 20 feet away, maybe less. Decent volume on the TV show. And then she was also using the paper shredder. The paper shredder did come through when music was paused. The TV didn't, not really. I didn't catch the TV at all, but once music was playing, it helped drown out the paper shredder. So it didn't feel like I was being interrupted. There was a couple times that when the music was quieter, paper shredder came through and I could hear it. But again, using them outside on walks and stuff, they were good too. But I mean, obviously you don't want to completely isolate yourself in potentially, hazardous situations. So I mostly put them in the pass-through mode or transparency mode, where, let some of the sound in through the mics. And that was actually my favorite feature of these. The pass-through mode is very good and allows me to clearly hear my wife, my son, or anything around me when they come and talk to me without having to pause my music, without having to take out the earphones themselves. So it was really nice when I'd be in the kitchen, hands dirty. I don't have to take them out when they come and talk to me, or I can hear everything going on. Again, my main use case for wireless sets are in the kitchen because I love to cook. Also, speaking of having to take them out, if there is something that demands your undivided attention and you need to pop them out, even if you just pop one of them out, it will pause. It has in-ear detection, so if you pop one out, it'll pause your music, but also, like, for example, podcasts or YouTube videos you're listening to, it'll pause them for you, so you don't have to, like, once you take care of whatever you're is demanding your attention and you come back to your media, you don't have to, rewind or find where you left off and, deal with all that. You just pop it out, it pauses. You come back to it, you pop it back into your ear, and it just plays. It's awesome. I love that. It's very quick and it's been very precise. There's only been like 2 times I think that it didn't do it right. I believe the sensor is on the nozzle itself, so depending on how you take it out, if you like squeeze the nozzle, once it's out, it'll start playing again, and then you let it go and then it'll stop again. So just keep that in mind. There is a low latency mode for gaming. It will reduce the latency by reducing quality of the audio. That way you get the sound, but it's quicker and less delay. I still don't prefer wireless sets for any type of gaming, because usually you can always notice the slight delay. Even though these get pretty quick and there's very little delay, it's still noticeable, and especially in competitive games, you don't want to have any sort of latency. And just like with any of their other products, this works flawlessly with the app. There's all the options, those features I mentioned can be controlled on the app, but you also have access to the EQ function. There's 2 different ways you can approach the EQ, which both of them are very simple. And again, somebody like me, I do not like to EQ. I only EQ if I have to, and I feel like I usually don't have to. But if I want to, tailor the experience for myself to closer match my preference, it's very easy to do so. So there is a preset function where there's a few presets, I think like 10, maybe 12 different presets. I use the classic preset, and that's what I'm going to speak on during the sound breakdown. It's going to be just default classic preset, nothing altered, and they'll give you an idea of the starting point. But then there's a lot of ways you can modify and tailor the sound to your preference. And then the other option is you get a 10 band EQ option. I think it's 10. I want to say it's 10. And you can just, go by frequency, change the response there up to 6 decibels. So +6 or -6, which is more than enough to correct some of the issues I had with these. So I just did it that way instead of going through the preset EQs. But I believe that the bass boost EQ is probably going to be very easy for most people to enjoy. So if you just go in there and it's like, the bass is a little off for me, go to the bass boost and it's great. I'm telling you, that driver really moves air and it's very satisfying. All right, now getting into the sound breakdown. Again, this is with the classic SoundPeats EQ profile, basically default. Starting with the bass. Bass is slightly rolled off in the sub bass, more focus on the mid bass. Mid bass is pretty pronounced. It is actually the focus in this tuning, and it's very satisfying. There's a good thump, very visceral. You feel it. It's satisfying. It is about as dynamic as the average set at this price point. I did boost the sub bass a little bit just to even it out. I prefer sub bass focus over mid bass focus, and there is a slight dip, almost a tuck going into the lower mids. So that's something I corrected as well in the EQ, just bumped up the lower mids a little bit to even it out. That way sound didn't get too thin and there was still adequate amount of note weight. Mid bass though was a little much. I did turn that down a little bit as well. I personally do not enjoy too much mid bass. It just feels like it's intrusive, interrupts the music a bit. But on this set, it's minimal. So I just need to turn it down, like I think 2 decibels or something like that. Now going into the mids themselves, like I mentioned, lower mids have a little bit of a tuck, so can make them sound a little thin. There's actually another dip going into the upper mids. Right before upper mids, it feels like another little dip. Makes female vocals a little thinner and lack body, and just mids overall a little bit uneven. There's some stuff that come through pretty clear and other stuff that feel a little bit more veiled or in the background, and that's also due to the bass. The mid bass just kind of, again, a little intrusive, comes in, veils the rest of the sound signature. Now the treble itself, There is a little bit of a roll off towards the end, so these aren't as airy as the Opera 5s, for example. But Opera 5s had way too much trouble at the higher frequency, so for me, I had to turn that down anyways. Just made things kind of, you know, sizzly and staticky sounding, white noise sounding, I guess is the best way I can describe that. But on the Air 4 Pros, there's just a couple spikes, so similar to the mids, there's some things that come through a little bit more emphasized, so some treble can be a little bit piercing while the rest is just normal. There is a good amount of mid treble as well, so that gives the overall sound signature somewhat of a metallic timbre. It's just a little bit off. You can tone that down just a bit, even it out, makes it a lot more natural sounding. But overall, you know, just nitpicking here, because stock tuning is fine. There's not going to be much critical listening that I do with this. I'm not sure about you guys when you use a TWS, if you're actually critically listening yourselves. If you are, again, EQ, even that out, iron out the kinks, and you're good to go. If that's not something that bothers you, that's not something that's going to affect your enjoyment of this product, then you're fine. It's not a glaring issue. These are all just minor nitpicks that I personally needed to fix. So techs overall about average at this price point, and this is considering full price, so $79.99. Stage feels a little intimate, a little bit more closed in. Imaging's okay. It has the ability to throw, you know, sounds in different directions, which is nice, but stage being smaller makes it still more intimate. Detail retrieval, again, about average. It does separate some stuff, but mids can get a little congested, again, depending on the track, because remember, this is a single dynamic driver, unlike the Opera 5, which we're going to compare right now in a second. And then again, dynamics about average as well. So overall techs average, and when I say average, it's not bad, it's solid for the price. That's what my average is. It's not doing anything worse than most sets, but it's not doing anything extraordinary compared to most sets. You're getting a solid value to price performance here. It's gonna do what you're paying for. So now getting into the Opera 5, which we're gonna be comparing to the set, which is right here. Opera 5, I loved. Great sound, and again, EQ capabilities with the app, so you can fix the sound to your preference. But Opera 5 is a single dynamic driver plus 2 balanced armatures, which allows it to get better detail retrieval and separation. So techs overall are better than the Air 4 Pros, but this is where the trade-off comes in. They are a bit bigger. The shells themselves are pretty chunky. The stock ear tips didn't work for me. I actually had to use a separate set of third-party ear tips to help them fit better and feel more secure in my ears, because again, they're pretty big and they stuck out quite a bit. Once they're on, they're fine, they're comfortable. It's just a little weird having that much sticking out of your ear. That was a trade-off. Them being a little bit less comfortable if it was a little bit better on the Air 4 Pros, and that also went into the ease of use. The Air 4 Pros, I can just pop open the case, put them on, let's go, we're good. And this experience, it's still great. If I'm going to be critically listening to music using wireless, which is not often, but I do that sometimes, I would choose the Opera 5s instead, because I'm not going to be moving around as much. I'm going to be at my desk most likely, and the fit issues would be minimal at that point. It wouldn't be as big of a drawback in that situation. And then the other big difference is the Opera 5 has the LDAC support. So if you have LDAC capabilities available, you're going to get better quality sound. Again, it's very difficult to even notice if you're just listening to the device. If you compare in person, in real time, A/B tests, you might be able to pick it out. It's not a big difference. So that's not something that I was missing on the Air Force regardless. And then the obvious price difference. Opera 5 is going to be $20 more at full MSRP. Build is a little bit better on the Opera 5 as well. So again, two great options, but it just depends on budget, use case, and preference. Sound is pretty much the last point here that you should consider, because you can adjust them in EQ. So you should think about the text, the fit, and the price when choosing between these two. For me, again, everyday easy carry is Air 4 Pros. They're comfortable, they do everything I need them to, and they're cheaper too, so it's a win-win. Well, anyways, that's it. Air 4 Pros. If it's something that you are interested in, make sure to check them out. I'll have a link in the description below. Patreons, thank you for keeping the channel running and Sunny fed. So thank you guys. You can see we're going to start stocking up on treats for him. You'll be able to see them back there. And then I got a new rack back there to put all the audio stuff on. As you can see, I got a lot of work to do. So stay tuned, and if you would please consider subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment, and that's it. I am Awesome Danny, and until next time, you stay awesome, friends. Bye.